Okay. Hello, folks. Let me introduce you to Charity Toombs. She's a good friend of mine, entrepreneurial lady, great marketer, great businesswoman. And we're going to talk about today about the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, excuse me, of which she is the executive director. Good afternoon, Charity. What's going on?
Hi, Rick. Thank you so much for having me. It's a great day to be here with you.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about the Tennessee Whiskey Trail because I have to admit I didn't know there was one. And that's a sad statement because I live here in Tennessee. So I'm excited. Can you kind of flesh that out for us a little bit and kind of let us know what that is all about?
Absolutely. Well, we hear all the time when people think of Tennessee, they think of three names: Jack, Dolly, and Johnny Cash. And so we are very fortunate with Tennessee. Obviously, the Jack is the Jack Daniels, and obviously the spirit in Tennessee whiskey is synonymous with Tennessee. And so I have the pleasure of spending my day promoting our statewide attraction, which is the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, as you mentioned. We are a statewide trail that runs about 500 miles from Memphis to Bristol. And our goal is to essentially bring guests into Tennessee to enjoy the spirits that are being made here. And I think one of the misconceptions to Tennessee and to the Tennessee Whiskey Trail is that while it's called the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, we're actually making an array of spirits, not just whiskey, but bourbon, gin, rum, absinthe, fernet, agave. If it's distilled, it's being made here in Tennessee, and they're doing a pretty great job of doing it.
That's crazy. That is, I mean, agave? I mean, really?
Absolutely.
What?
Yes. And so, I tell people, and we hear it all the time, oh, I'm not a brown spirit drinker. And I tell them, well, good news. There is plenty to be had and enjoyed by all. And more than anything, we invite you to come in and experience and obviously have a taste of what Tennessee is really crafting.
Well, okay. So the obvious question is how do our guests, how do I figure this all out? Where would we go? How do we figure that out?
Right. So kind of in vain to the Bourbon Trail itself, there's not actually a trail itself that you get on to experience the Tennessee Whiskey Trail. Very much like the three grand divisions of Tennessee, we have distilleries throughout the state. There is a great pocket here in Middle Tennessee. There is a very large pocket in East Tennessee. And then we have one lone distillery that is in Memphis. And so what we advise people is obviously, we have a website that is tnwhiskeytrail.com. But what the fun part is the website does help you map out a trip or a journey. And that could be just visiting based upon a region that you're wanting to do. But we also have trip ideas based upon interest. And so for guests that are wanting to enjoy the Tennessee Whiskey Trail and the distilleries, but also looking for outdoor adventure, music, history, culinary. We actually have trip guides that help facilitate both experiencing those distilleries and those activities. And so you can find out more about those different options via our website. But I think the biggest piece to our experience is the fact that we invite guests to come in, not just visit one distillery, but to visit a majority, if not all of them. And we have a way for guests to track their progress through a passport program. And we have two versions of our passport. We have a paper textile version that you can pick up at any of the Tennessee Whiskey Trail distilleries. And as you go along and you visit the distillery, each distillery will physically stamp your passport, and each of them have a commemorative poker chip. So you can actually collect chips for each distillery along the trail. And then once you have completed all 28 stops on the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, you obviously have a stamped passport that you can turn in. And we encourage you to keep your chips. And then we send you a commemorative poker set to really create a nice little experience in your time on the Tennessee Whiskey Trail. If the paper version is not your option, we also have a digital version that you can download to any smart device and stamp your passport digitally via a 4-digit code and collect your chips. And so more than anything, we just invite you to come in and experience it.
Well, that's exciting. How did you get to this point? I know you were executive marketing director here in Lebanon for the expo, and then one day you're doing this. And I thought, wow, that's cool. That's a really cool job.
Well, I tell people all the time, it's kind of at the right place at the right time. I had the pleasure of directing marketing for Wilson County for about 4.5 years. And it was actually during my time here in Wilson County that I learned about the Tennessee Distillers Guild, which is the organization that actually puts on the Tennessee Whiskey Trail. And really, they had just got started in about 2014, 2015. And we had a distillery here in Wilson County at the time that was a
I
part of
remember
that.
that.
So really had a chance to learn really at the beginning of the culmination of that organization, and had kind of kept up with it over time. And my experience here with Wilson County in hospitality and tourism really gave me the interest to want to do something statewide. And so through relationships with the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development, learned about the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, and then really wanting to ramp up. And so had a chance to really take that relationship founded and started here in Wilson County and take it to where I am today, which is really an opportunity to represent our organization and our state on a national level, and really add value to what we're doing here in Tennessee. So it's truly an honor every day. It's a pretty great job for sure.
It sounds that way. It sounds perfect for you and for them to have you, because I know your skill sets, and sky's the limit right here. I'll tell you right now. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, how did you? I've known you for a few years, and I don't know your backstory. Where did you come from? Where did you? I mean, are you a Tennessee native, or did what? How'd that all figure out?
So I am a Nashville native, proudly display the unicorn status, and had grown up in downtown Nashville. And this is really like mid 90s. My parents really saw Wilson County as, especially looking at Mount Juliet, as the new Franklin, and decided in the mid 90s that they were going to plant roots here, and built their dream home in Mount Juliet and moved us out there. And as you can imagine, Wilson County and Mount Juliet definitely were not the cities on the rise that they are today. But it is what propelled us out of the city into Wilson County. Had the pleasure of coming up through Wilson County schools, and really taking that education moving forward. Did my undergraduate at Tennessee Tech in Cookeville, studied communication, and knew I just wanted to get out and hit the ground running. And I have been very fortunate to have an array of jobs, and that really all of that experience and those relationships have served me well in the current role where I am today. But truly, really getting into where hospitality and tourism was as a state, and watching Nashville really become a rise of an it city and destination. And here I am X amount of years later. And, for me, it's just a passion every day to be able to get up and to solely, your sole job is to have guests come in, visit your state, visit these communities and destinations that surround distilleries. And I think that's the neatest part, is that realistically, distillery to distillery, the production is the same, but it's truly the communities that surround the distilleries that make it a unique experience. And so really helping to connect visitors to those unique experiences, storytelling, and all in all, making a difference, through visitor expenditure that benefits the community and our state overall.
What statement! That you should can that one and use it. Just as remarkable. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. You're bringing people here. You're making them happy. You're opening the book that is Tennessee and showing them, hey, look at this page. I bet you didn't know about this page. Turn the page. Oh, look at that. And you're providing experiences. You're going to repopulate Tennessee. There's more people, because when you do that, you're going to keep them more excited about coming and moving here, along with all the bridal parties that are currently downtown Nashville. So, hey, you moved back to Nashville, though. You moved out of the county, and you're a city girl now.
I am. So obviously I met my husband in fifth grade. So I am very appreciative to Wilson County Schools for that connection. I always tell people fifth grade was a very impactful year for me. I met my husband and my friend, that is to date. But we had the pleasure of growing up together, and both bought homes here in Wilson County as our first homes. And then as we got married, we decided that we probably should consider combining and moving into one. And I really, wanted to get a chance to go back, quote, home to downtown. And so really kind of through conversations and watching a community on the rise, we settled in Donaldson, kind of as a nice middle ground between downtown and Wilson County, which for us seemed to be just the perfect location. We're about 5 miles from Broadway, so close enough to hear the music of Ascend, but also far enough away to enjoy the tourists from a distance. And so we really love it there. It's a great place to call home, but we're in Wilson County more often than we should be, with all of our families still here. So always great to come home for sure.
Are you amazed? I mean, when I go downtown, and it's just, I get amazed every time. First of all, the amount of building that's going on down there, but just how vibrant the city is. The food scene is insane. I can't get to all the restaurants. It's impossible. So, you got to rely on good friends to give me a heads up where we're going. I mean, how do you manage all that? I know you love to eat out.
I do. Yeah, I'm absolutely a foodie. And even I struggle with new restaurants coming and going. I will say one of the benefits I feel like to my job is that I feel like we do get to hear more about what's coming, and trying as much to stay a pulse of what is new so that we can continue to engage guests with. But, it's one of those things like just driving around the city, I find new places to go. And what I really love, especially having seen from Nashville and the surrounding the community over the last 10 plus years, is really the influx of newcomers, and them bringing such culture and art, and the food scene, watching this chef driven community really come to life here in Nashville, that's adding to our livability. So it's a fantastic time to be here for sure.
It is, and that's actually filtering down to Lebanon. In the next year, we're going to see an influx, maybe 18 months of astonishing good restaurants that are headed this direction. It's going to be so nice to have a wonderful place to go have a delightful meal with good friends. So I'm really excited about the things that I know about or have been told about, and the future that's here. And maybe we can convince you and Jordan to move back this direction a little bit, just a little closer.
Hey, everything's always up for discussion, but this is my shameless plug saying the only thing Wilson County needs at this point is a distillery. And so working with Mayor Bell and the tourism department, we would love to be able to add that livability component to your community. But more than anything, bring in, our trail is bringing in 8 million visitors annually, contributing $3 billion.
Wow.
So we'd love County and Lebanon to get a little bit of that $3 billion economic impact being driven from whiskey tourism.
Well, Sarah Haston and Mayor Rick Bell, that will get their attention.
Right? You guys need a distillery.
When I see them both, I'll plug you. I'll plug that for sure. Are you getting any traction there at all with them, or how's that going?
I think there is great interest. I mean, obviously the brewery coming into downtown Lebanon Square, I think has absolutely added a lot. It's given, a restaurant piece as well as really also an agricultural tie to the community. And so a distillery would just come alongside that as well. I think some people don't realize that the actual byproduct of distilling, what we call spent mash, is protein rich. And we work very heavily across the state with farmers, because they take that spent mash and feed it to livestock. And so for us, it's a viable, sustainable product that obviously if we didn't have the farmers, we would have to find ways to dispose of it. But at the same time, it's kind of that full circle. We buy the corn from the farmers, we distill it down, we mash it, spit mash out, and take it back to the farm where it began.
Well, It's like farm to table. Now it's farm to bottle.
That's right.
Is that what?
That's I love it. So if Wilson County has anything, it's definitely farmers. You know, we're still 51% farmland. And so we'd love to bring that agricultural component to the community through the distillery world and all of those whiskey tourism travelers.
Well, it's really important. And there's a number of organizations here in town that strive to get that local produce, local meat, and recognize the value of keeping those people, fully not employed, but gainfully in business.
Yeah,
And it feels good to feel that support. And a lot of ways, I think some of the new people that are coming in are even more inclined to do that. That's just my feeling. I don't have anything to base that on, but it's just a good feeling that people want to do that.
100%. I think people want the ability to choose local, to choose, small businesses. And so when you provide them those options, they're even willing to pay for it at a premium.
Yes, and there is a small premium attached to it, but then you are eating it, and what you eat is who you are. So there is that. Well, when you wake up in the morning now, what's your thoughts? What gets you out of bed? What's your next project? What's going on there?
Um, I'm always hoping for or thinking about where is the next vacation. I think one of the greatest benefits to being in hospitality and tourism is the drive to visit and be a visitor yourself. For us as the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, we're really excited about really ramping up to take the trail to be an internationally recognized destination and so an attraction. And so what I'm working on now, I think people will see really happening and rolling out in the next few years. And so I laughingly say, like, it's all kind of cyclical, all there together, hospitality and tourism being one myself and working in this industry. We have two little Westies, Andy and Rex, that keep us on our toes and are typically the main reason I'm getting up in the mornings. But more than anything, it's like, I'm so proud of the state that I live in. I'm so very proud of the opportunity to promote whiskey tourism, to be in this industry, and have the chance every day to work with these distillers. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is that these distillers are not these like figures on a wall in a distillery. They're young, they're vibrant. Tennessee's only been legally distilling for about 10 years. And so the distillers are so excited and to see you come and want you to taste what they're doing and to share. And so, for me, it's just a pleasure that this is what I get to do each and every day. So
You're blessed.
I am. It's that idea that, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. So I'm probably as close as I think people can get to that at the moment.
Wow. Well, we're going to just tie it up right there. I don't think we can, we've run out of time, but what a great way to end that. I mean, you're living the dream. You got a great husband, by the way, that, but I'm sure you're proud of his photography skills, and which are just a few of what he's capable of. And he's blessed to have you as well. So thank you very much for joining us today, folks. Please join us next time on the Deep Dive with Rick Wedring.